We are now going to hear from our speaker, and to introduce our speaker, I'd like to have Julia Arsenault come rack up. Thank you.
Hello again, everyone. It is my honor to introduce Dr. Catherine Pearson. It's president of Lone Star College, Kingwood. As you can read in your program, she has many years as an educator prior to taking on leadership roles within the college system. Welcome, Ms. Pearson.
Thank you, Julia.
Thank you. You're welcome.
We're not going to cry. We're not going to cry. This is for the allergies and the onions in the room. Well, thank you. Actually, for the college, today is good day number 2000, wish it were 2000, number 209. Our first good day was September the 2nd. That was the first day that we saw improvement on our flooded campus, whereby we had use of only 2 of our 9 buildings and none of our outside facilities. So every day is a good day since then, and we're on a long journey, like many in this room, to get back to perhaps a new normal. When I was preparing for this, because to be honest, at first I thought my role was just to announce all the wonderful teacher honorees today. And then when I realized, no, I'm the keynote, I thought, oh, I better do my homework like any teacher would. So these are just about 12 or a dozen different sayings that I've stolen from others and wanted to share with the group. I know you're all speed readers. So many of us have a definition of what a good teacher is and what teaching well means. Well, to be honest, when I realized I was the keynote, I wondered, well, really, what are my qualifications? And I do have a few disclaimers. So these were all things I could think of. Certainly, I've had a lot of relatives that have been in education and have taught. And by the way, I do have a little bit of a warped sense of humor. So my father was a college professor at A&I University in Kingsville, now part of the A&M system. My mother was a middle school science teacher, taught earth science and physics. I have 2 sisters that taught. One really did smoke for many years until we convinced her not to. And she's still teaching sciences. And another sister was a math teacher who then became a counselor for a high school. Actually, she worked in several different high schools. My husband's last career was as a teacher in the social sciences, and my daughter-in-law started out as an elementary school teacher, then became a principal, and now has gone into recruiting. So I thought by osmosis, surely I know something about good teaching. To be honest, true confessions, my first exposure to teaching was in daycare. I lasted 2 weeks, and that's the toughest job I ever had. I also substituted in the K through 12 system and realized that the older the kids were, the better a job I did. While little ones are sure cute, they have no concept of personal space. So hats off to the kindergarten teachers and other elementary school teachers. But also, I've done quite a bit, not only as a teacher in college, but as someone who hires teacher. And then for 16 years, I was an elected school board trustee. And one of the things that I observed was if you don't have good, stable leadership in your whole system and on your campuses, that filters all the way into the classroom. So you can't ignore the role of leadership in teaching. In terms of being a college president, I certainly play a role. I actually am the final decision maker on all the hires made for faculty and other positions. And some of the things that I'm always looking for when I interview the finalists are not are they competent, because I only know the field of biology, so there are others that have vetted out their competency. I'm looking for folks who can be not only student-centered, care more about their students, or at least as much about their students as their subject matter, even in college, but I'm also looking for team players, because you can have prima donnas and they can do great things, but when they leave, those things go away. So I'm really looking for good collaborators. I'm also looking for folks that don't mind constantly trying out new things in a classroom to see if they can improve their teaching abilities. So we want somebody who wants to take risk. And of course, you always want positive people. You want to hire people, and you want folks in the classroom, whether in the kindergarten or in college, who always see the glass half full. When I was doing my research for this topic, one of the things that I ran across was Deborah Chang's blog on the 9 reasons great teachers make great leaders. And that just resonated with me, because I think most in this room, most of the teachers, don't see yourselves as leaders. You know, most educators are introverts. You don't seek the limelight, and that just kind of goes with the territory. But you truly are leading that classroom, and not only those kids in your classroom or adults in your classroom, but you're leading in many ways in your community. And I think that Harvey helped put that in greater context for us, because I think we all had to rise to the occasion. So in Ms. Chang's blog, the 9 reasons, start with number 1, great teachers know how to create strong, healthy cultures. And you not only see that every time you walk into an elementary classroom, just looking around the classroom to see what's on the bulletin boards, all the organization activity areas, but you also see it in how teachers model, how they structure their classroom, even in online classrooms. So we'd certainly agree that great teachers do all of these things. Now then, with Harvey, 98% of the college faculty were displaced. We lost, again, 7 of our 9 buildings in terms of use. And so within 23 days, we came up with a whole new business plan, which meant that we went from 72% of our classes being offered face-to-face to 27%. So many of our teachers had to learn how to teach online for the first time. Many, and especially in workforce programs, had to go to different locations. So certainly our teachers are resilient, but they created healthy cultures, whether they were now relocated at the Chief Farouk Manufacturing Center, or in this picture on the far, I guess you're right, are actually our occupational therapy assistant students with their teacher who are conducting class in the cafeteria of the Kindred Rehabilitation Hospital. So we have great partners that help make our recovery or just business plan work. And again, the teachers created the culture in those classrooms. Number 2, great teachers know how to set high expectations. Because Harvey caused so much devastation in our area, it would be easy to lower our expectations of our students. I didn't see that happening anywhere. What I saw happening were our teachers became much more creative, certainly flexible, and had to rethink a lot of things. And we saw that at all different levels. And certainly when our students fail, as a great teacher, you don't blame the student. You become very introspective and reflective, and you look at, what could have I done differently to help make that student successful? And you all do that. I have to brag, because this weekend, the Lone Star College Kingwood student newspaper group, The Howler, actually won 19 Texas Intercollegiate Press Awards. So Yeah. The English teacher in the middle was a former high school teacher. Reason number 3, great teachers prioritize what really matters, not only in a classroom in the subject matter, but in life in general. And you think about just in Humble ISD alone, I think over 1,200 students are homeless. We know that so many were displaced and were in turmoil right after Harvey. And so I know before Harvey, we had the advantage of having contact with our students, even though we hadn't formally started classes. All teachers have their rosters online and are reaching out to students before classes started. Then after Harvey, we asked that they please make sure students know that they're going to be okay. If they want to continue their education, we'll take care of them. And every teacher did. They reached out to their students, said, we don't know when we'll start classes, we don't know where we'll start classes, we don't know what mode it will be, but if you stay with us, we'll take care of you. And for your local college, we had our highest enrollment ever in the fall. We hit just under 13,000 students. And I don't know of any place that loses 80% of their facilities and increases enrollment, given what we had. So that was the teachers. Those were our faculty members, and I call them miracle workers with their deans. And of course, this is an Humble ISD high school teacher grabbing supplies out of her class to go from Kingwood to Summer Creek. Reason number 4, great teachers plan purposefully. And I don't know of a single teacher that thinks, I'm not really sure what I'm going to talk about today, I'll just wing it. We all know that you'd be eaten alive by the 20 to 30 or more students that are in your class if you did that. And so these are just some examples. Certainly our occupational therapy assistant program, all of those students spend the better part of a week in a wheelchair to get to know what it's like for some of the patients that they'll eventually treat. But every teacher has a lesson plan, and they know to the minute what they're doing. Those are great leadership organizational skills. Reason 5, great teachers execute every day. So again, regardless of what mode they're in from Harvey, whether they've been displaced, they're still taking care of business and they're taking care of students. Reason number 6, great teachers know how to learn constantly. You know, good and great teachers are not born. They're made along the way by their students, by their colleagues, and by professional development activities. And they're constantly learning. They're incessantly curious. They want to get better. They believe in continuous improvement. So you don't see a great teacher being nominated as such who's reading from notes that are yellow because of age. They're constantly revamping. And in our case, we had at least 150 teachers that had to learn how to teach online in 3 weeks. A whole course and whole series of courses. Reason number 7, I had to have fun with this one. Great teachers persevere. So whether it's the helicopter parents, the absentee parents, okay, Bart Simpson, and if you can't read that, he's writing, "Teacher is not a leper." And then we all have experienced parent-teacher night, so this is parent-teacher night, let's share the blame. So I just couldn't help but making fun of some of the things that we all do, and you do very well. And we know post-Harvey that all of our teachers in this room and in the college and Humble and in Spring ISDs have had to persevere. Reason number 8, teachers are resourceful. We had teachers that had never taught online, our fabulous face-to-face teachers such as Professor Steve Davis, probably some of you had him years ago, and he had impromptu meetings at Tita's Taco House in Humble and other places with his online students just to connect. And I know I heard similar stories from Humble ISD teachers that were trying to connect more with their students. And then this is our science faculty. Since we had no vehicles, they used their own pickup trucks to come onto campus as we had our Blackman Mooring workers in full protective personal equipment going up, looking through their science labs, trying to salvage all the things that they said they needed to be able to box up and teach at a different location. So teachers are extremely resourceful in so many ways, but this is just a few examples post-Harvey. And reason number 9, great teachers empathize. And you know, when Harvey hit, I know when we were able to resume classes, and I know this happened in all of your classes, you didn't start that first day, perhaps even first couple of days, with hardcore subject matter lessons. You started by sharing stories. What happened to you? Are you okay? Does your family need help? And I saw examples of that over and over again. And there's not only the saying, and that came from Teddy Roosevelt actually, usually we substitute students instead of they. They don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And the other saying that someone will always may not remember what you said, but they'll remember the way you made them feel. And I think great teachers do that all the time. So hats off to all in this room. You do a phenomenal job. You are creating and helping to mold the future leaders. And it's just been kind of overwhelming and with great joy that I think we've seen how students have a voice, and they're using their voice nowadays. So that's thanks to great teachers like you. Thank you for letting me be your speaker today. I hope you enjoy your lunch. All of you are great awardees who make us proud every day. Thank you.
Thank you, Catherine. And here's a gift from us to you. Thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you, Corinne.
Awesome. Isn't she phenomenal? We are very blessed. Give her another hand. Now, I know during this whole Hurricane Harvey thing that we all experienced, there was a lot of stress and a lot of tears and a lot of hugs that went through the whole time. And I'll tell you, working with Catherine through this whole thing, that woman always had a smile on her face. It's amazing. You did, always. Well, when we saw you, okay, I don't know what you're doing. I mean, at home, you're probably crying and going, okay, now I got to pull it all together. But we so appreciate you and your positive attitude. Never once, when we were in a lot of planning meetings, and never once did she have any type of attitude that was, I don't think we can do it. It was always, there is a way, we will figure it out, we will pull together, and we have the resources to do it, and we've got the great people to pull it all together. So we really appreciate you, Catherine. Love you. Okay. Now we are going to move on to the presentation of the awards. The reason why you are all here today to celebrate our phenomenal teachers. So if you've been here before, in the past, we would actually have everybody line up and walk across the stage. So we're going to do something a little bit different today. And so we're going to see how this whole thing goes, all right? So since you're all educators, I'm going to give you instructions, okay? We're going to see how well everybody follows the instruction, and then you're going to get a grade when it's all said and done. So what we're going to do is we are going to ask those teachers that are here to be honored to please stand as your school and or your grade division is called. Okay, so that's the first thing. When I say like Humble ISD elementary school teachers, all of those people are going to stand. Okay, we're good? Okay, good. And then as they stand, then I'm going to individually announce those names, and each individual person, then you're going to wave. Okay, so we all know that that's you who is being called. All right, everybody got it? Stand, wave. All right, I think we can handle this. All right, so as I said, we're going to start with Humble ISD Elementary School. So those teachers of the year, please stand wherever you are. Yes. All right, awesome. Okay, so as I read the individual names, let's hold our applause to the end because we got a lot of people here. Okay, Cornelia Davis. Remember, raise your hand. I'm looking. Where is she? Okay, yes. All right, good. Stacy Say, Mary Torres, Debbie Havnen, Trisha Zinnicker, Susan Gonzalez, Carol Robeson, Patty Ciotti, Amanda Kopp, Brooke Bear, Broderick Lindsay, Elaine Halford, Nikki Miles, Pam Julian, Audie Huberty, Carla Craig, Emily Warnack, Jeanette Kelly, Travis Cedarbow, Darcy Scharf. Did I get that right? Sorry. Kim LeBlanc, Madison Roden, Shauna McGrath, Nicole Edwards, Carmen Gauze, Nadia Campbell, Kim Smith, and Kimberly Wallace. All right, let's give them a hand. Okay, you may be seated. Good job. How did the elementary teachers do? All right, awesome. Okay, we're moving on. Humble ISD Middle School Teachers of the Year, please stand. Okay, wave when your name's called. Bailey Leone, Michael Block, Joshua Grimes, Matthew Smithson, Daniel Green, Simon Perry, Michelle Kirkpatrick, and Amber Wall. Let's give them a hand. All right, Humble ISD High School Teachers of the Year, please stand. Katie Pence, Sergeant Major David Watkins, Miguel Carlos, Karen Raspberry, and Terry Hart. Next is the Humble ISD Special Campuses Teachers of the Year. Would you please stand? You should know who you are. We have Jeffrey Alexander, Amy Walker, Kevin Kruger. All right, that's it. Thank you. Next is the Spring Independent School District. And with those Teachers of the Year, please stand. All of them, the elementary school teachers, Spring ISD. Okay, great. Laura Mathis, Suzette Fears, Melanie Ellison Dean, Galicia Granados, Lori Gillespie, Katrina Daniel, Shaisley Charles, Victoria Joyner, Liddell Whitfield, Omar Bolden, Nicole Hill, and Ivy Busby. Next is the Spring ISD Middle School Teachers of the Year. Please stand. We have Kendra Lee, Diane Moretti, and Sheila Foy Stewart. Thank you. Next is the Humble ISD High School Teachers of the Year. Would you please stand? Spring ISD. Okay, great. Give them a hand. Audrey Sam, Annie Hero, and Keith Underwood. Next is the Holy Trinity Episcopal School. We have one Teacher of the Year, Meredith Crow. Would you please stand? The Rhodes School of Performing Arts. Would those Teachers of the Year please stand? We have LaShawn Barnes, Ashley Foster, Damaris Givens, and Renelda White. Give them a hand. And lastly, we have the Lone Star College of Kingwood. Would the Kingwood's Faculty of Excellence please stand? We have with us Leanne Leapst, Mary Maynard, Alicia, bear with me here. Jack Churosky, did I do that right? Close? Not even close. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, we'll have to have a lesson afterwards. Okay, give them a hand. Okay, and now I would like to introduce our award sponsor, Ashley Miller. Are you coming back up? Okay, come on back up. Let's invite Ashley to come on back up here. While she's coming back up, you did a great job. I'm very proud of all of you.
At this time, I would like to ask Brittany Sampery and Macy Schubert with Community Resource Credit Union to come forward to give away an iPad to a well-deserving teacher.
Good afternoon. I wrote my small little speech on my phone. I've got about 3% battery, so I'm gonna talk real fast. Again, my name is Macy Schubert. I have Brittany Sampery with me from Community Resource Credit Union. For those of you who don't know, we are located on Atascocita Road in Atascocita, and we are just so thrilled to be here and proud to be among all of you today. As an employee of Community Resource Credit Union, I hope you educators truly feel and see the support you have in this room, not only by Community Resource, but from all the local credit unions that support you. We truly believe that the best investment, the best return is what we invest into the classrooms in the school district. So I hope you truly understand how much you're supported here today. I want to congratulate our campus teachers. In one of maybe the toughest years you might ever face as an educator, you have sacrificed your time, your resources, and yes, sometimes your sanity to ensure that our children are given the very best education. On behalf of CRCU, thank you for all you do, and we look forward to serving you in the future. So with that, maybe we'll let Corinne sew. We won't be in trouble. Okay. All right, the winner of the iPad is Nicole Hill. Oh, hi. Congratulations again.
That's sweet. Thank you, ladies. Thanks so much. Let's give them another hand. At this time, I'd like to ask Jessica Beamer with the Houston City Council Member Dave Martin's office and City of Houston Police Department Lieutenant Salazar to come forward. The City of Houston Police Department has a special presentation.
Thank you, Corinne. I'm happy to be here on behalf of Councilmember Dave Martin and in support of our Houston police officers that serve at the Kingwood substation in Kingwood. As you all know, our community was highly impacted by Hurricane Harvey, and we couldn't have done anything throughout the storm without the support of our police officers and Humboldt Independent School District. So please, let's give a round of applause for everything that you all did and our officers did during the storm. At this time, I'd like to turn it over to Lieutenant Salazar for some remarks.
Good afternoon, everybody. It is an honor and a pleasure to be here. We celebrate our educators, too. What you do is extremely important. I'm here today with my Captain Rose Terry, my Assistant Chief Bender, and Officers Ramirez, Rodriguez, and Von Quintus. I would like to say just a few short words about Hurricane Harvey. And let's just say it was extremely catastrophic for Kingwood, for all of us. We were experiencing a lot of panic, a lot of high water, a lot of rescues. More than 1,000 people were rescued. Water was very close to getting inside our division. In fact, we were launching boats directly across the street. We were scrambling to find out where we could set up a new command post and perform our operations from there. Well, I'd like to recognize at this moment Dr. Fagan and Miss Drabing from K Park High School. Without their assistance, their hospitality, their generosity, their kindness, their understanding, their cooperation, we would have been in a lot of trouble. We were allowed to access and use K Park High School to house our equipment and to establish our command post, but to also help house officers' families who were affected by the flooding. So if you would please come up here, we'd like to give you a little token of our appreciation. Councilmember Martin's office was gracious enough to purchase these. Thank you for your support, and thank you so much for helping. We really need to be doing appreciate everything y'all do. Thank you. Thank you again. We really, really appreciate your support.
That was fantastic. Thank you so much. I'd like to once again thank our sponsors who made this day possible. Our co-presenting sponsors, Gulf Coast Educators Federal Credit Union and the Rhodes School for the Performing Arts. Our award sponsors, Community Resource Credit Union. Our platinum sponsor, United Community Credit Union. Our gold sponsors, Hope Photography, Joiner Partnerships, K&S Sportswear, Math Stackers, and Flip Flop Travel, Jen Sitton. Also our silver sponsors, Amadeus Italian Restaurant, Centerpoint Energy, Deerbrook Mall, Humboldt Christian School, Humboldt Independent School District, Lone Star College Kingwood, Humboldt City Councilman Norman Funderburk, Rafa's Waterfront Grill, Shell Federal Credit Union, Sterling McCall Honda, and U.S. Congressman Ted Poe. Our bronze sponsors, Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation, Jimmy John's, Primrose School of Summerwood, Primrose School of Lakeshore, Rosewood Funeral Home and Cemetery, The Observer Newspapers, and Top Hat Catering. We also, before we conclude, we want to remind that all award winners, we want to get a photo of you. So if you could all meet immediately at the conclusion, go towards the circular driveway. We're going to have a big photo with all of you there. And that concludes our luncheon. Thank you.